Hello viewers and welcome to the eSeniors GT3 Championship Warmup race for Silverstone. Bit of added spice this time. The race is going to take place in the sunset, and already in pre-qualifying, a bit of practice, a couple of drivers have been complaining over the lack of visibility, mainly because that big globe in the sky is causing them problems. Be interesting to see how the drivers do actually manage to cope with this as the transition changes throughout the race. So it's an hour race with a mandatory pit stop, and we've actually got a couple of additional drivers. With it being a warm-up race, there's no holds barred who can attend. So we've had a couple of invites. I'll just introduce a couple of them. I don't know anything about them, but I am aware of them. So the first one we have is a friend of Ollie's, who's called Steve Crossland. He's from New Zealand, so he's the second New Zealander we've got racing with us. Laszlo Nemeth, who's been with us for a couple of months, I believe, has actually joined the race today. And we've also got Dejan Paunov. You might recognise that name. That's because it's Merch's son. He's quick as well, to be honest, from what I've been seeing. So what am I expecting in qualifying? What sort of times we're looking at? I think there's a base set for mid 158s, but I'm not going to give too much away. We will see a 157. I think it's going to be pretty clear who we all know that is. And obviously getting yourself in front on a track like this, which is a very quick track for obvious reasons, is going to be quite key and quite critical. There's no table to show for obvious reasons, because it's not a tabled race as such. It's it's almost like a friendly, if you want to put it into context of something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a driver who's unlikely to go off, and I'll do a lap tour with them. So I'll pick Peter Wolfslader, who obviously won the race yesterday, and did a lap tour with him. So I'll switch to Peter, and what we'll do is wait for Peter to go over the start-finish line. He's quite early on into this lap, and I'll give you a tour of the Northamptonshire circuit of Silverstone, which is 5.8 kilometres long. In English terms, that's 3.6 miles. A couple of hellos to the stream. We've got Big Natty, who's been watching and sitting there patiently for a while. We've got Steve Howells, who I'm trying to work out if Steve's actually racing. I can't see his name on the leaderboard yet. That doesn't mean he isn't. We've also got Peter LaFrance. Hello, Peter. We've got Melvin. Hi, Melvin. Hi, honey. I'm in the house. And we've got Pitbits, Mr. Gerard. Welcome to the stream, guys. As I say, bit light-hearted entertainment, this one. Nothing too serious. No doubt if there's a few incidents, we'll still get the barrage in Discord later about people upsetting other people. But the idea of today is looking at your car setup, practicing your pit stop, and just in general getting to grips with the race, with obviously the sun setting as part of it. So Steve's not racing tonight. Okay, so that view there epitomises the sun. So I should imagine if you're in VR, that looks really uncomfortable. Now, you can turn the balloon quality down in the game, but I don't know how much that'll affect that. That was quite glaring, even for commentary, I must admit. So I think that's going to be really interesting. And obviously I've got all the effects turned up now. I can do it on my graphics card, so you're seeing everything in top quality. I don't think there's anything turned down. It's in epic mode, so maximum quality there. And you can see there Peter's just done a 158.3. So he's just started to finish finish straight now, and he's just looking where he's going to actually. He's into Maggots here, which is a bit of a kinking corner, and this is going to take him into Beckett and then the Chapel curve if I'm on the right part of the track. This then takes us down the Hanger Straight. If anybody ever watches Formula 1, this is a great overtaking opportunity. And then he'll brake hard into third gear and go through Stowe. This will lead him into Vale, where again he'll get his foot down. He'll brake hard into first gear, take the left-hander. Actually trying to work out if I'm in the right place here, actually. Yep, that's the Hamilton Straight, isn't it? In so many tracks you lose your way. It's into Abbey. Farm curve, which is this bit, and then braking hard into the right hander of Village. Down into first again. drift the car over to the right, into the loop, and then the left-hander, and that takes us onto Aintree. Flat out, all the way down to the bottom, onto the Wellington Straight, and then brake hard, left into Brooklands. So getting the braking point here is, you know, very important to get the right drift into the corner. Come through Brooklands, and it's right-hander, which is Luffield. And then from Luffield, get your foot down through Woodcote. A little bit of a straight, and then the right-hander of Copse, which takes us onto the, you know, what would be the straight in effect. This is where we started and where we joined him, so that takes him back into Maggots again. So that was a spoilt lap, so that was a 157, but it's not going to count. I said there's going to be a 157 in there. I do think there's going to be a 157. It is actually recording that as a fastest lap. I think he spoiled his next lap actually. So I'll jump on board with Mark Christopher, who's currently in third. He's 2/10 up, his best is a 2-minute flat, 2:94. So let's see if he can improve on this. He's coming towards the end of his lap. He's now 3/10 up, so it's going to put him into the 159.7s. Mr. Crossland has just done a 158.6, so that's Ollie's mate. And you can see here, this looks like Mark Christopher's behind Jeremy. He's now half a second up. He's on a 159.5. And we've had another fast lap going in there as well, a 159.1, which is Dejan. And Mark Christopher's done a 159.7 in the end, so he'd lost a bit of time. Yeah, a couple of comments, pit bits. Winning all day on Sunday, so no need to practice. Yeah, I've got a VIP meal on Saturday, so it makes no sense to be trying to race after a meal and free alcohol. So I'm just not giving it a run this week. And you live near Silverstone and can confirm it was sunny today. Well, it's been chucking it down all day here. And Big Natty would be wearing his high-end polarised sunglasses. Steve Owls needs to find out where 3 seconds are. I think I'd probably be you, Steve, to be honest. I think I've managed a 2-minute flat on this track, but that's the 219 model. The 220 is slightly different in relation to that as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where people end up on this. You know, you can see there's Steve Crosslands with a 158.6. As I said, Peter's done a 157.9, and Dejan is the 159.1. I do think more drivers will end up in the 158s as a result of this. Let's jump on board with Nelson. Nelson is a 159.6 and he's 7/10 up. He's 8/10 up, so this is going to put him into the 158s. Nelson, who had a great run yesterday, I think if Peter hadn't had a faultless drive, he'd have been my driver of the day, Nelson, where he started and where he finished. It was light and day. So he's 1.1 seconds up here. He's going for a 158.5, which will put him in second place. He's now on a 158.3. 158.2. A 158.1. Oh, he's lost time there. Yeah, 158.1. Can he get into the 157s and put Peter under pressure? This corner is going to be so important for him. You can lose or gain in this corner. So far so good. He's still on a 158.1. Now on a 158 flat. Oh, he's lost time there. So important this last bend for him. I still think he's going to get second. And there you go, a 158.1. Exceptional lap by Nelson there. That was brilliant. Wow. So yeah, Steve, that's with your best of 2 minutes flat. That's still 2 seconds to find in it. Don't forget though, Steve, these guys are Group 1, so you'd expect them to be a good second faster. Mr. Crossland, who's just behind him, is 4/10 up, and his best is a 158.5, so he's also looking at a 158.1. Now he's half a second up, so he's looking at a 158 flat, and as it stands, he's going to get pole. Let's see if he can keep this up. This is going to be so close for pole, but he's definitely on. Looking at this, he's definitely on pole if he can keep this going. bit sideways, but he's gained time. Oh, he's lost it through there. He's changing down's killing him. He's got good drive out there. He's going for a 157.9, and I think he's going to claim it from Peter here. There you go, a 157.96. So Mr. Crossland has claimed pole with 9 minutes to go from Mr. Wolfslaner. So I wonder if Peter's now looking at that time thinking, I need to go a little bit quicker. Are we going to see Peter go out again? He is on track, but he's actually not putting a lap together as it stands, so I don't know if he's doing a bit of car practice. Yes, Steve, I know what you mean about lap times. Last season in the track we've just done, the Nürburgring, I was struggling. I think in the 158s, you know, and you're in the 156s now, so there's definitely gains being made with every driver throughout the season. Let's Mr. Roder. Interestingly enough, the drivers who've joined us have made it a grid of 26 cars. So this could be absolute carnage in the first corner. I think the best one so far has got to be Misano in the wet. The Group 2 race. When there was 15 cars involved in one incident. Or however many it was. I mean, you know, I don't mean to laugh about it, but unbelievable to see that many cars just end up going out. So Frank Roder's gone off there. Let's go with John Saunders. John Saunders is usually a quick guy, actually. So he's looking to try and find a second and a half. And his time of 159.4 I'd be happy with. He's 4/10 up. So he's looking to break the 158 barrier here. Right, he's gained a bit more there. He's now into the 158.8. No, he's not. He's losing time. In the 158.9s at the moment, which is only going to move him up 2 places. He's not going to be in the top 3. He's losing time here. He might even get in the 158s at this rate. I think he's going to get in the 158s, but a very, very late 158 looking at this. No. He's lost all his time in that corner. I don't know if the car in front... Oh, rear slide there. That's not helped him at all. He lost 2/10 as a result of that rear slide. In fact, he's lost another 2/10 and he's not bettered his time as a result of that. Mr. Pownov, Murch's son, is 159.1. He's 4/10 up, so he's looking at a 158.7 here. That won't move him up the leaderboard, but it will actually solidify his 4th position because he's gaining 6/10 now, and it just makes it harder for the guys behind him. Drives very similar to his dad. He's got track limits there, so his lap's not going to count. The way he drives, though, is very similar to the way his dad drives. But with Terry Trowbridge here, his best is a 2-minute flat, and he's 7/10 up as it stands. So he's looking for a... Yeah. Oh. I must have read that wrong, because he's just done a 2-minute flat. He must have spoiled his lap. He has moved up into 8th place, but... That time wasn't reflective of what I saw. A bit confused there. Mark Rogers is currently 7/10 up. He's 2 minutes. He's now a 1.2 seconds up. He's looking at a 158, a 159 here. Flat. Sorry, a 159.7. My apologies. He's losing time now. They all seem to be struggling in this back part of the track here. They seem to be doing really well in the opening part of the track, and then they seem just to lose so much time in this part of it. Yeah, Steve, that's this corner here, I think, is the biggest problem on this track. Getting the balance right to get the power down and not going beyond track limits. I presume that's the corner you're on about. Right, Peter Wolfslaner's woken up. He's, I think he's realised he's not got pole. He was a 10th up a second ago. This could be very close. He could be up. I can't tell you if he's up or not at the moment. It's not registering as a 10th. So he could be less than a 10th, but he could still get pole. This is going to be very, very close. I couldn't tell you who's going to get it or not. This is going to be very, very close. Yeah, look at that. A 9.21. Wow. 2 157s. A 9.21 and a 9.60. I wonder where the race is going to be at this time. Just at the front somewhere. Right, jump back to Frank. Frank's 8/10 up with a 159.3. This is going to take him into the 158. So he's looking at 158.6 at the moment. If he can keep this lap together. He managed that. No track limit warning there. He's fine. Needs to get his braking point spot on here. He's taking that in second rather than first. He's still got the 7/10. Hi Stefan, welcome to the stream. He's 8/10 up now, so he's going for a 159.5. If he can keep this up. Sorry, 158.5. That's going to put him fourth on the grid. He's now a second up. Oh, he was a second up. His braking was very late there. He's now being held up by the looks of it. He needs to get his foot down because Saunders is on a slow lap. But he could get a bit of a tow here, which could help him a little bit. That tow could be worth a little bit. Yeah, that's moved him up into fourth with a 158.4. So yeah, I think the tow helped. Hi, Robert. Oh, dear, dear, dear. I think that was... I'm not so sure who that was in front. Mr. Christopher. I think Mr. Christopher didn't use his mirrors there and took Mr. Sousa out. Just because it's not a race doesn't mean you don't be a gentleman conduct on there. Right, the two front guys, Peter and Steve, are both up. They're both, what, 1/10 up at least. These, you're not going to be able to split these. Peter's just done a 157.8. Steve Crossland has lost his time. He's fighting to keep it. Yeah, he's got the 10th back again. Oh, he keeps gaining and losing it. Mr. Crossland, let's jump on board with him. I think he's going for a 157.8 here. Peter's 2/10 up as well. Oh, he's lost a bit there, so let's keep going. This is going to be a great battle between Crossland and Wolfslaner, this. He got great drive out of there. Oh, he had great drive and lost it all. Still a 10th up though, but I think he's lost a bit of time here. Oh, an 8:43. Wow. That's a 157.837 and a 157.843. Unbelievable race in this. Wait till the race starts. This is just qualifying. Just take a little refreshment. My throat doesn't dry up. I think Ollie's on track. Let's jump on board with Ollie. He's 3/10 up. He's looking for a 2 minute flat 0.6 here. Sorry, 3/10 up. He's looking at a 159.7, which will move him up 8 places. Now he's putting a lot of time in here. He's gained a lot of time. Can he get this sorted? No, he's 2/10. He's lost a bit of time there. So he's still going into the 159s. He's going to jump up a lot. No, he didn't. He lost all his time. He lost so much time coming out that one corner. The corner you're on about, Steve. Unbelievable. Quite a few guys struggling towards the back of the grid here as well. Still in the mid 2 minute ones, 2 minute twos. I think we may actually see some lapping going on. Don't forget, it's a 60-minute race, guys, and there's pit stops are mandatory. So just jump forward, Mr. Saunders. We've got 15 seconds of qualifying left. He's a 159.3 and he's 3/10 up, so he's going into the 158. So he's lost time here. He's not going to gain on Dejan in front of him. So I think where we are is where it may end. Although Ollie, if he can get his act together here, Ollie is looking like he's going to make some progress. No, he's struggling, Ollie. Getting the power down. think that's more or less going to be it. No one's really going forward now, and we've hit the red and the timing. Oh, we'll see if I can do a grid walk. I'm not promising. Hi, Petri. He's up a little bit here, Ollie. Oh, he's got the corner right this time. Yeah, he's managed to gain a couple of tenths into that corner. He's not making much great headway though. That's it. Right, back shortly. Okay, time for the grid walk. So on pole, after a very, very good close battle, we've got Peter Wolfslainer in the big red Brute Bentley, followed by a guest driver, Steve Crossland from New Zealand in the black and green Mercedes. We then got Nelson in the Martini Aston Martin and Frank Roder in the Porsche. We've then got John Saunders in the Lexus. I think he's normally in the Aston, I could be wrong. He's obviously testing a different car out. And Murchie's son Dejan in the Gulf liveried Porsche. We've got one of the PWS cars, both of them side by side. Mark Rogers and Mark Christopher. Mark Rogers in the green tint, Mark Christopher in the red tint. Then behind that we've got Terry Trowbridge and Richard McKay in the Porsche. Someone's obviously dropped out there. Someone must have gone into the pits. We've then got Ollie Ortner, and then behind that we've got Andreas Pettersson in the McLaren, and then we've got Murch in the Bentley, he's normally in the Aston Martin, is Murch, so that's a bit of a change. Laszlo Nemeth in the Lexus there, and Paul Moore in the Audi. We've then got Harrison in the Aston, and we've got Jeremy also in the yellow Aston. The blue and yellow Aston is Nikos, and then we've got Uwe in the Martini Porsche, Souza in the green Bentley, and the new livery of Luke in the Porsche with the sparkly colours. Then behind that we've got Andy Skelton in the red and white Lexus, followed by Peter Miles, and then run up the back we've got Kevin Torrance and we've got Ricardo Weston. Now I will say a couple of drivers appear to have dropped out, so I'm not too sure what's happening there in relation to that, but I think a couple of drivers have dropped out a little bit, so we'll just see what happens there. Okay, so 40 seconds to go, then it'll be lights out and race time. Quick back to the stream, the chat. And we've got DMH Racing. Cheers, wrote on IG that I'm interested in joining the eSeniors League. If you're over 50, you're more than welcome. As Pit Bits has said there, go to our Facebook page. There's a join option in there, and it'll be approved, and then you've got to join the Discord channel, and then the details are released on the Discord channel. Hopefully we'll put on a good show for you, but I will say the warm-up races tend to be a bit of a free-for-all, whereas the championship races, we do have strict rules to follow. So, you know, just be aware that this could be quite chaotic. Yes. Oh, it's Frank Roder who disconnected, he's just said. That's such a shame, because it's the second time he's disconnected that. So, I'd like to say my money's on. A couple of cars ghosting there already. Peter's made a great start in the qualifying. But this new guy, Crossland, who's obviously not racing with us, and that Porsche, this is a really important point. They should be following their arrows here. Drive-through penalties will be issued out here now as a result of that, because the cars that have dropped out means the other cars have got to move over. So already, we've got a few cars going wide. Just keeping an eye on it. Peter's made a good start at the front. So's Nelson. Let's just go back a little bit further. Still looks relatively clean. A lot of side-by-side racing here. Looks very good. Oh, contact. Sousa. I'm not too sure. Peter Miles and Sousa that was. With a bit of contact there. Yeah, I saw that, Frank. Second time running there, isn't it? How come it seems a bit bizarre that it always disconnects? There's been a bit of a few passes here. Dejan's lost 2 places. So this is Dejan, Mark Rogers and John Saunders. And oh, Dejan's gone up the inside. What a pass that was. Very similar to his father in that respect. That way he undertook that pass then. And you can see there behind, we've got Merch putting pressure on Terry. So the Bentley versus the Bentley. Paul Moore's just took the Laszlo. Andy Skelton, I think, has gone off. I don't know if he's not hit anybody. I think he's over-rotated the car there. And as you can see now, he needs to get on the track because Sousa's catching him up. Here's Sousa behind. There's a bit of a battle going on here. This is Harrison and Laszlo. And you can see all the cars behind. We've got Nikos behind that and Jeremy behind Nikos. An unusual sight. Jeremy seeing actually the back end of Nikos's car for a change. Roberts, Nikos will rear-end someone. You're already saying what other people are thinking. Okay, so it's still all, you know, just start to settle down a little bit. Mark Christer's putting pressure on his team colleague here, Mark Rogers. So this is obviously a battle for pride. I think it's fair to say. Nikos is putting pressure on Harrison, so I'm going to keep an eye on that because we might get our rear end yet. If Harrison decides to brake a little bit later. Now Harrison seems to have got the better of him there actually. Jump back a little bit. We've got Laszlo putting pressure on Paul. So Paul's already passed Laszlo, but I think Laszlo made a mistake in relation to that. So Paul Moore's now going to get under pressure, and in front of them we've got Richard. I would expect Richard to scoot off into the distance a little bit. Once he gets to grips with what's going on, he does usually scoot off a little bit. Peter Miles has lost a position there. I think he going off track and went a little bit slow. So we're just going to jump back to Laszlo, who's putting, as I said, putting pressure. Oh, and Laszlo's actually made a mistake. He's had contact with Paul Moore. Let's just have a quick look at that. I wasn't sure what happened there. But let's see what we can see on the replay. I don't know whether Laszlo's made contact and he's the one who's been spun out as a result of it. See here, Paul Moore's in front in the Audi and Laszlo's in the Lexus behind. He's getting a good run there. I'm just wondering whether he's outbroke himself and caught the corner of the car. But so far so good. Still not a passing move. Oh, he's gone for the pass. Gone out of control there. I think it's fair to say. He was very lucky with how the cars ended up. And the fact that Paul Moore never suffered from it. So, yeah, I think he got away with that one there a little bit. Mark Rogers has been passed and is going slow, so I think he's been off track. Mark Christopher's passed him and so has Terry. So Terry's now going to get under pressure from Mr. Rogers, I would expect. And also Merch is going to put pressure on Mr. Rogers as well. And Jeremy is also looking at the back of Mr. Nemeth. He's thinking, this guy's a bit loose. I could possibly pass him. We know Jeremy's a very true gentleman, though. So consequently, I think he'll not put too much pressure on. Poor Harrison. Come on, Nikos isn't doing too bad, to be fair. We just see the quickest lap there, which was Steve Crossland. He's only half a second off. So just quickly jump to the front. He's actually only half a second off Peter here. And look at that, Nelson's putting them under pressure as well. This is a really good battle. Luke's gone off. Luke's overclocked it a little bit there. This is really interesting. So Peter's used to Andrea or Carlo or Mr. Bourne being in the rearview mirror. And as you can see now, he's got this Mercedes. Mark Rogers has now passed. Oh, there's been contact. Terry Trowbridge and Mark Rogers, there was contact there. And that now means that Merch has got a bit of a run. So I think Mark Rogers passed Terry, and I think Terry must have nudged Mark Rogers. I can't see, I've not done the replay, because obviously the incident's happened. Hi Jonathan, welcome to the stream. And you can see now Merch is going to put pressure on Terry. But Terry's not giving up. Oh, you know what? Oh, I think a driver got the braking point wrong there a little bit. And I'm just wondering whether Mr. Rogers... I hope we're not going to see these two taking bites out of each other for the rest of the race. Because it looked like Terry could have stopped there, and he chose not to. They're lucky these incidents aren't going to cause major problems in relation to the championship, because that would certainly be require investigating. So Robert, Crossland isn't. This is a warm-up race, so it's potentially a free-for-all, and he was invited along, and the invite was approved. So he's not over 50. He's not far off 50. He's not a kid. Murchie's son's obviously a lot younger, Dejan, but he just seems to be very, very quick and very, very clean. You know, very, very clean. Okay, so Nikos was putting pressure on Harrison, but is also getting put on pressure himself from Laszlo. Oh, Nikos is getting a bit loose there. So's Harrison. Harrison's off. So Nikos has made it stick. Laszlo is now putting pressure on Nikos. Nikos looks a bit loose there. His car seems to be twitching even on the straight. So I don't know if it's just his pedals going or his wheel. Laszlo's going up the inside. Wow. Brilliant by Nikos, that. He's got a cracking drive again as Nikos. Oh, he realises they weren't going to make that stick. And he got his braking point right. Are we starting to see a new Nikos born here? Yeah, Jonathan, it's evening. The sun's going down. And Jeremy's now putting pressure on Harrison behind. So Harrison lost 2 places there as a result of going off. So I'm just going to jump forward again. Because, as you can see here, Peter's under immense pressure from Steve Crossland. I will say, though, from what I've seen of Steve Crossland, he's a very, very clean driver. I don't think we're going to see mad dives up the inside. But I hope Peter enjoys this. He's probably going, who the hell is this Mr. Crossland? I've not seen him before. But fair dues, you know, if it's a good race, it's a good race. I'm just going to jump back. Whoa! Whoa! Dear, dear, dear. Now, that wasn't an incident. That was Terry overcranked it. He tried to go round the outside of Mr. Rogers there, and he lost complete traction and spun off. So maybe, you're right, the tyre temperatures are dropping as the track's dropping. So he's lost about 5 or 6 places there. He's going to have to recover quite a lot now. There's a lot of cars in front of him. Harrison's putting pressure back on Nikos, but also Jeremy's putting pressure on Harrison. I'm just trying to work out, so, yeah. There's Jeremy going for it. Jeremy's making the pass. Smooth operator. He's got the line, he's got the angle of the corner. Oh, he's broken too early there, but he still managed to keep the drive. Harrison's going to keep the pressure in. He's got the inside to the corner. Yeah, he's managed just to keep the corner there. This is an interesting battle, this one. You can see Jeremy's obviously appears to have the quicker car. Oh, Harrison's drifting it there a little bit. But maybe there is a tyre issue on this track. It's very early on. We've only had 10 minutes. Coming out that corner, really slow, the pair of them. Who's getting the power down first, isn't it, really? And Peter's just done a 158.2. That's now the quickest lap. In fact, the fastest laps are Peter with a 158.236, Nelson with a 158.290, and Crossland with a 158.296. Them guys in front are in a different league. They're nearly a second faster than John Saunders, who's the next quickest. Unbelievable. There you go. Jeremy's made the pass on Harrison. Very clean. Got his braking point right. Bit of a slide there from... Oh, you can see the slide. He's managed to keep it going, though. Just kept it going there, so I think he'll now recover through these through this little section. Oof, quick breather. Catch me breath. Lubricate the tonsils. And where can we go to next? There's just starting to gaps appearing now on track. We'll jump with Andreas, because Andreas is putting a little bit of pressure on Ollie. He seems to gain through some of the track and then lose through others. So I would imagine the McLaren's really good in the corners on this track, but as you get onto the straight, the Lexus has just got the grunt, as does the Bentley. So you can see just how quick the turning of the McLaren is there compared to the Lexus. The angles are much tighter, therefore he can take a better line into the corners. And you can see there, he didn't use as much track as what the other car did. So I'm going to jump back to Jeremy, who's now putting pressure on Nikos. Oh, Jeremy with a dive. He got his braking point completely wrong there. That's the first time we've seen Nikos taken out by someone else in that sort of manner. Wow. That's very unexpected. It has to be said. It's going to be interesting just to see what Jeremy says. He'll be grateful it's a warm-up race, but he'll be thinking, oh, I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong. Because he is a clean racer, Jeremy, to be fair, but you could just see he got that so wrong there into that corner. You knew exactly what was coming. Harrison's gone very, very wide there. Very wide. I'm just going to jump forward to Laszlo. A couple of cars in front. He's caught up with Paul Moore again. So before they had a bit of a contact, and it was Laszlo who hit Paul, but Laszlo lost out. So he's going for the outside. So Paul's gone very defensive here. Is he going to make it stick? No, Paul's got the line. But is he going to get the undercut up the inside? No, he's not. He's going for it. Still think Paul Moore's got the line. He doesn't want to go over too much. He's got his braking point spot on there as Paul Moore. Good driving, that. Brilliant driving. Jeremy did not think Nikos would use his brakes. Yes. Ooh, Laszlo there, very late with the brakes. Very late with the brakes. Good little battles here with some of the, the guys not at the front. Peter Wolfslane is now 1.3 seconds clear at the front. He's just starting to just put his legs out a little bit and relax, I should imagine, Peter. I mean, still early into the race. We've got 46 minutes to go. And at some point, we're going to have a pit stop as well. That could really turn it around a little bit. Yeah, I could rib Jeremy later on. Brake for the corner, brake for the corner. The Harrison has lost places here. Oh, what's going on there? What is going on there? There's a bit of an incident there with a couple of cars. I saw a car sliding down the track. And Dejan Paunov's gone off. Come on, catch up. There you go. So we're on board with Ricard. I said Harrison had gone wide. Ricard's going up the inside. No problem. Makes the pass. Terry's got a good run against Harrison. He makes the pass. Oh, he's going for it. No problem. Oh! Harrison's trying to claim the corner and misses his braking point completely. Very unfortunate, shall we say. Okay, now Dejan, who was right up at the front, is now dropped significant places and he's now down in 20th position. So, in fact, he's quit. So Dejan has quit. He looked like he'd gone off. No incident. Looking at this, he's gone off track and he's, I think it's, what's the term? Rage quit. You're gonna have to be careful now, as I said to Jonathan. What is it, Jonathan? As you're going down the straight, watch the prams, watch the toys, watch the teddies, because they've been well and truly thrown out the pram. I'm half tempted to say like father, like son, but I don't think Merch ever quits, to be honest. But there was no contact, so I don't think he can blame it on anybody. I think it was a self-inflicted mistake. I'd love to have seen the replay, but as he's quit, I can't do that. So Laszlo and Terry's having a nightmare keeping it on track here. Laszlo has now moved up into 10th place and has just passed Andreas. So Andreas, I think, has made a mistake and has allowed Laszlo to well and truly pass him there. So yeah, it's all going off. Sorry, Jonathan, I stole your thunder a little bit there. My apologies, but yeah, I think it was something we said last night when you said about throwing them out the pram, and I said dodging them down the straight. So I just put the 2 and 2 together tonight. But you get me meaning, don't you? Right, so Jeremy, Paul Moore, Andrea's having a nightmare. Now, I didn't think the pits had opened. Well, has he got a problem? I mean, the pits could be open. If that's the case, he's going for the pit stop early. He might just have a... No, the pits aren't open yet, so I think he's got a bit of a problem there. Terry's off again. Terry thinks he's in a lawnmower. I'm sure there's a game, Lawnmower Simulator. There's a battle behind them. Ricard is putting pressure on Nikos. So Nikos lost time as a result of the impact with Jeremy, and Jeremy's hunting the pair of them down again there. No doubt tentatively thinking about his break. Well, Steve, that's the interesting thing. You know, it was only switched over last night, the server. And if people haven't had a chance to test it and try it, that could be really interesting. Bearing in mind the sun's setting, so the tap temperature is going to drop. So they'll need a few extra PSIs in there, won't they? Yeah, so... I don't know if Andrea's got a problem, you know. Andreas, because that's not like him. I don't think he's... Ricard's just gone off. Whoa! That was very close there, Harrison. Ricard had gone off and I think he'd left the track a little bit. I don't know if Andreas has got a personal problem or his car's well and truly broken. I've not seen him recorded as hitting anything. That doesn't mean he hasn't. He is in the pits at the moment. I can't see. He's been in the pits for 1 minute 40. If it's a big impact, it'll be a 3-minute stop. But his car didn't look too damaged, to be fair. Ricard's trying to close Jeremy down here after losing a place, I think it was. This is the closest battle on track. Yeah, this is the closest battle. Peter's 1.5 seconds ahead of Steve at the front. Steve's 3 seconds ahead of Nelson, and Nelson's 8 seconds ahead of John Saunders. So just to make you aware, the last laps. In fact, what I'll do is I'll show you the lap splits, just so you can see the lap splits. So you can see there, Peter's potentials are 158.0, but he's only got a sector 2 purple. Steve's got a sector 1 purple, and Nelson's got a sector 3 purple. So quite close times, to be fair, with the way the drivers are going on. Lap time on the tower. Let's see. Normally you want the gap. Let's see if I can do the lap time. Like that. Let me know, Robert. Is that what you're on about? So you're getting the gap from the person. You've got the current lap time. All right, okay. Now I can give you. Actually, can I do the last? Yeah, the last lap. No, I can't do the last lap. That's current lap time. If you're happy with that, you can keep that. Pits are open. 20 minutes pit stop, which means that Harrison's took Ricard here. So pit strategies will come into this. Who's going to be the first to dive in? Okay, understood. I'll switch them off because that's just an increase in number. It doesn't really... I can do you that, the fastest lap, but that again, that's a point in time, isn't it? I'll go back to the nation. I'll switch between that view I had before throughout the race for you. If you give me an indicator, I'll go to it for you. Hi, Andreas. What happened, mate? You seem to be doing okay then. You just seem to drop down. So Ricard's the first one going for the pit stop by the looks of it. Oh no, Paul Moore's pitted as well. So you'll see on the tower, I've got a number 1. I just want to fill you in on this so you're aware of what it means. So the game counts a pit stop, but that information isn't exposed. So what they've done in the software is I can stipulate how many pit stops there are, and all the game looks for is someone driving in and someone driving out. So this doesn't mean they've fulfilled the pit stop correctly. This just tells me they've been in and been out of the pits. So there could still be invalid pit stops in there, just so you're aware of that, okay? So we should see them numbers drop, or should go green when the pit stop's fulfilled. But as I said, that's just an indicator that they have been in the pits, as opposed to fulfilled the pit stop criteria, which, as we know, is very important. I'm just looking at how long the guys are in the pit stops for. I'm expecting probably 1 minute and 8 seconds. In fact, yeah, 1 minute 13 seconds for a pit stop. Right, so quick rundown. So Nelson has gone for an early stop here. So he stopped way before half time, halfway. So he's going for a second long stint here. But at least he's getting his pit stop out of the way. All right, understood. I did say I hope you're okay, whether anything personal. But yeah, you said you've had a problem with your headache, and you obviously suffer with your wrists like I do. So yeah, obviously Nelson's tumbling down the grid now, which is understandable. So quick rundown. Peter's still out in the lead. He's now 3 seconds clear of the guy behind him, Steve Crossland, who's a guest driver. Steve Crossland has already overtaken a back marker, as you can see there. He's 12 seconds ahead of John Saunders. John Saunders is 13 seconds ahead of Mark Christopher. Mark Christopher is... it's not showing a time here, a gap difference, but you can see there's a gap between him and Merch, who's just behind him. We've got Mark Rogers, who's obviously, you can see the distance between Mark Rogers there. And then behind that, we've got Laszlo, who is going forward, but a few cars are pitted now. Andy Skelton's had contact with somebody. I'm not too sure who. But he's running really slow there. It's not showing another car on that contact, so I can't tell you who it is. Merch has gone off. He's made a mistake. So that now means he's going to lose places, and if he's not quick enough, Laszlo's going to pass him. We were with Ollie, so Ollie's there, currently in 8th place. Richard McKay in 9th place. Then we've got Terry, who's in 10th place, seems to have got to settle down a little bit now. He has been going off track a few times and across the fields. Jeremy, 11th, who had a bit of a senior moment, shall we say, when he actually did to Nikos what Nikos has been doing to everybody else. So, other foot on the boot and that. Harrison's gone off. Nelson's now out of the pits. His pit stop was 2 seconds quicker than Paul Moore's. Uwe. Again, still to pit. Peter Miles. Then we've got Luke, who's having a good race. He made a few mistakes early on, but I think, again, he's settled down now. Maybe it was a tyre issue, and he's now figured out the tyre balance with the car and has changed his driving style. Andy Skelton, I think he's gone wide a couple of times, but is going well again now. Sousa behind. Sousa lost a lot of places early on. He was taken out on the first lap, I think I recall. And he did lose a lot of time. Paul Moore has pitted, hence why he's further down. Rickard Weston has also pitted, hence why he's further down. Kevin, I don't think, has pitted yet. He's just towards the back of the grid. And Nikos has pitted. So obviously he's going to start moving up. The pits are starting to come into play now. So you'll also notice that Mr. Crossland has pitted. He's now a significant way behind, but he needs to start pumping the laps in. Nelson's pitted. And as you can see there, he's just passing Jeremy now. So Nelson's starting to go through the traffic of the back markers as he gets his tyres up to speed and temperature. And he's now back on his way. Whoa, he's drifted that. That's one way to get your tyres warm. Great control there, Nelson. Great control. So just briefly back to the chat. Yeah, Andreas, I think I said the other day I struggle now doing 2 races a night. And I'm not racing this weekend because I've got a function to go to. So I thought I'd just stream it rather than race it. Yeah, Frank had a disconnection, which was very unfortunate. Second time in 2 weeks. Is that pit stop cheat method still being utilised by some drivers? It's not a cheat. It's perfectly legitimate. It's just timing. What you don't realise, Robert, is if they get it wrong, it goes against them. It's one of these things. If they get it right, they can benefit. If they get it wrong, they can lose out. So it's one of them risks. And you're just saying you're too lazy. Well, that's for a comment. Okay, so the majority of the drivers haven't pitted. So Kevin's gone off at the back. Kevin's not having a race to remember actually in the Nissan. Oh, he's all over the place. Laszlo's going for the pass there. Wow. He's really struggling, is Kevin, with that Nissan there. It's almost like he's running wet tyres on it. Because even on the straight, as soon as he puts the power down, it's all over the show. Let's just see what's going on here. Let's jump in inside with him. And see if he is actually battling with the car. As soon as he put the power down, the back just seemed to go. He's alright there. Oh, you can see the back end just wants to come round. The balance of that car's wrong, I think, looking at that. I know it's a good opportunity to try different cars the warm-up race, but... Oh, he's suffering massive understeer. Massive understeer. Look how much he's turning that wheel for it to not move. That car doesn't want to take corners. Wow. Look at it. Oof, interesting. His traction control is 3. I think, looking at that. His traction control, I think, is on the one on the left. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, soft car's not going to be a problem, but the understeer he's getting on that, that's a massive balance problem on the car. The suspension alone won't fix that. So no wonder he's losing time. He's going to have an absolute nightmare with that car. An absolute nightmare. Oh, and Andy Garage joined. I didn't see you before, Andy. If you commented, my apologies. Okay, so right, we're just starting to get pit stops through now. So Peter, let's just go. Laszlo's still doing well. Peter's not pitted yet. John Saunders hasn't pitted yet. And Mark Christopher's not pitted yet. Laszlo's not. So the first one to pit was Crossland. So let's see how Crossland's doing compared to Peter. So I'm just going to put... I'm going to go to Steve. I'm going to put Peter up and I'm going to show you the splits. Just so we can see the difference in times. So Crossland is a second faster than Peter. So what's interesting here is Crossland was nearly 3 seconds behind. If he's doing lap after lap a second quicker, he only needs 3 laps in the bag and he could do the undercut. Let's see what happens. This could be really interesting for the end of the race. His driving style is very similar to Peter, actually. I was on board with Peter earlier. But just let's see the next couple of laps. Peter's last lap was a 1:59.1. Let's see how he does after this lap and see if he's gained any further. Because if he gets his pit stop right, he could come out in front. Not many now. Majority have taken pit stops. Well, I will say the majority are showing us taking pit stops. Whether they are valid or not, I can't tell you that. So we'll just have to wait and see if the game starts dishing out penalties at the end. Or failed pit stops. The pit stops, don't forget, is all about making sure you change your tyre set as well on your tyres you're replacing with. If you don't do that and put the wrong tyre set on, it won't be classed as a valid pit stop. So Crossland was a half a second up on that lap. Very slow lap in comparison to what he's been doing. But from what we've seen, he's gained a second and a half so far. So we'll remove that split. And we will... Nelson, who was running in third and has pitted, is now putting pressure. Well, he's not putting pressure on Crossland. He's now behind Crossland. I don't think Nelson's going to run Peter out here. The gap is too big between them. In fact, I can't actually see the split between Nelson and Steve Crossland for some reason. I don't know why it's not showing me that. Right, so all the pits are still going on. You can see cars are coming into the pits. And everyone's now starting to get their act together. So we're running out of cars to pit now. And there's only 8 minutes of the pit window left. So the question mark here. And Peter's pitted. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Peter going to the pits. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump on board with Mr. Crossland. And we're going to go to the helicam. And what we're going to do is just see exactly how this all pans out. So, because Mark Christopher's gone in the pits now as well, I don't have a marker on timings because the game doesn't show you the timings. Harrison's gone off. He's gone playing in the sand. Steve Crossland is making progress here. Still got a long way to go. And Peter will have a 30-second stationary stop. As you can see there, Peter's coming out. So where's Crossland going to be? It's going to be close. There's Peter. There's Crossland. Peter's just in front of him here, I believe. Yeah, Peter's now getting up to speed. So Nelson, there you go. So Nelson's also playing ball. So not only did Peter not lose time, he actually gained. He's now 4.6 seconds ahead of Crossland. Wow. And Saunders has got his 4th place back now as well, as a result of Mark Christopher pitting. Harrison's gone off again. In fact, Harrison's quit. Harrison's had enough. I think he's showing us I can't select him anymore. So Harrison has quit. He's just realised he can't drive the car. Stop and go, full speed in the pit lane. Was that car 712? Laszlo Nemeth has got a stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. Peter did the pit stop cheat. Did he now? I don't think he did. I mean, pit stop was blooming quick. It was a 107. Crossland's was a 110, so he's 3 seconds quicker in the pit stop. Okay, so now it's starting to settle down. The risky bit. I don't think he did, and the reason why I say I don't think he did is because the engine was still running when he stopped. Now, with the pit stop cheat, you turn the engine off before you stop. And his engine was still running when he stopped. I don't think he did. I think he just got the timing right. So Uwe's just passed Luke. Luke's still in the pits. And there's only 2 people showing us not pitted. Luke and Kevan. And in fact, Kevan, I'm trying to find Kevan actually. Kevan, who's been struggling in the Nissan, he's still got a pit stop. The chances are he's probably not going to bother and just take the penalty. Not going to affect his race per se. Okay, so let's see where the battle's at. There's no action going on. I mean, if I show you the track map, you can see there's no one close. they're all just quite happily going around the track and following the cars in front of them. You know what I mean? It's I mean, the closest there is car 23. Who's car 23? Let's it's Andy Skelton and car 30. That's Andy Skelton and Sousa. There's no one else close. There's a bit of a gaggle of cars there. Car 60 yet. There you go. Let's jump to that battle. Let's go back and get rid of the track map. And you can see there, back markers are starting to pass now. So Crossland has just passed the back markers. That Porsche is looking sideways. Now he's managed to keep it there. So Crossland is now looking to pass Luke. Yeah, Jonathan, he calls it a cheat. Oh, that Porsche's really gone wide there. Very late braking. I just say it's a way of stopping the car. It does buy you time if you get it right, Robert. But equally, if you get it wrong, you can lose time, as I said. So it's certainly one of them. That's it. And if it doesn't start, Andreas, you just keep your finger on the start button, don't you? So you better make sure you have a button set for your starter. Because eventually it will start and fire up for you. Right, it's turned very quiet. So Luke is in the pits. God, he's been in the pits a long time. It's his second journey into pits, isn't it? I wonder if he's had a stop and go as well. The drive-through. No, he's stopping. Or is he? Yeah, he's stopping. Okay, so Luke mustn't have stopped then. Right, so Luke has now gone green, so it's showing he's made a stop. Kevin has also gone into the pits. So this looks like everybody is going to make legitimate pit stops. Well, when I say legitimate, it's going to show them as stopping. So Peter now up at front is 6 seconds clear. And you can see now, if we jump in board with one of the cars, this one's really starting to go down. So the lights are on the cars now, which adds another degree of probably discomfort for some drivers. The fact that it's dark and you start getting lights in the distance as well. Some of these tracks do look fantastic in the dark. I mean, look at that. The boards, the lights on the stadium, the way the signs shine. It just looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? What a great game. All the lights sparkling in the distance as well. Floodlights. And a few dustings of clouds in the sky. That's certainly not been Britain this week, I'll tell you that now. Might be Northamptonshire, but it's not been here. Car is so responsive to what he's doing. No understeer, no oversteer. It just goes where he wants it to go. It's like a remote control car, isn't it? Just goes. Okay, I'm going to jump back. Terry is putting pressure on Ollie. I'm a bit wide there. So see you, Jay. In the back of Ollie's car, as you can see there. Ollie's got a good angle there. He's got a better drive out by the looks of it. This corner's so key though, getting this angle right and cutting the corner just enough. Both done it really well there. This isn't over. These two are going to be battling. Laszlo putting pressure on Uwe. He's 1/10 in fact. He's just made it. Uwe made that very easy for him actually, to be honest. Back to Ollie. Terry's really going for it. Let's jump outside. Terry's trying all sorts of different angles. Now, interesting to see if Terry's tyres are going to work, because he had a problem. He looked like he was struggling in the first part of the race. So he might have better tyres in the second part of the race. And Mr. Lingham has just joined, which I think is rather disrespectful during the race. Yeah, not too sure. I didn't think he could join, but Mr. Lingham's just joined there, and he probably shouldn't have done that. I wonder if it's because it's not a championship race. Because if there was a massive lag then, I wonder if that's caused any drivers to go off. We should have probably checked. Pit
window is now closed.
The pit window's now closed. Ricard is putting pressure on Jeremy. Right, I'm going to message Mr. Lingham. Yeah, just making him aware of his misdemeanour there. It caused me to go off. Hi, Mikhail. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Ricard's putting a lot of pressure on Jeremy here. Jeremy's just keeping at it, bouncing around, having a good go. I will say the number of incidents do seem to be have tailed off a little bit now. There was 2 stop and goes, and there was a drive through. Oh, he's flashing his lights. That's the point. I'm coming through. I'm coming through. Them lights were being flashed quite aggressively there by Ricard. Uve's gone off. Or it's going slow. Let's go back to Ricard. Ricard really wants to get past Jeremy. Hi Terry, it's not a night race, it started in the evening, so it's a sunset race and there'll be no rain. But there has been a mandatory pit stop. I didn't see your lag when you joined, Andy, but when Kenneth joined then, there was a lag. I know because I saw it on the stream. Because that's why I looked down, I thought, someone's just joined. I think people are getting mixed up with the start times. Obviously with the clocks changing, it's only for this week. But just for reference, the pre-race meetings will be at 5:30 PM UK time, with qualifying at 6 PM UK time. And then obviously the race 20 minutes beyond that. And then I think at the weekend on Sunday, it goes back to the way it was because Canada catches up in relation to the clocks. They just want it to be a little bit different. I'm going to jump forward to Terry. Terry's got a good run on Ollie here now. I don't know if the run's good enough. This is looking like the hanger straight. Now, Ollie's car's looking very twitchy there. Or maybe it's the net code. It just seemed to twitch a little bit. Interesting. His tyres, yeah, you can see he's struggling, Ollie, with that. Or it appears to be, should I say. As he come out of that corner, it just didn't seem to want to go where he wanted it to go. It is this week, Terry, yes. As I say, it then changes, so I'm just going to jump back a little bit. And this battle's still going on, but as you can see now, it's a 3-man battle. Because Laszlo's joined in as well. In fact, Laszlo's managed to take Ricard here. And catching up a back marker. And Peter's catching them up. Oh, it's all kicking off. So Peter's got to pass these, and these have got to pass the back marker. So let's go on board with... Let's jump to Peter so we can see. He's catching these guys up. There's Crossland. So let's back to these. Yeah, there's Peter. I'm sure that's Peter. Yeah, Peter's gone up the inside. He's been given the clearance to go. These three are fighting. That's Kevin's car. So he's not interfering. And Peter's now going to take them, I reckon, and then catch these two guys up. Okay. This is going to get potentially very ugly, because I've not seen Nemeth race before, and therefore not sure how he's going to take to back markers. Oh, that's one way. I'll stay out the way. This could get very, very interesting, shall we say. Peter's made Nemeth. Just don't hit him. Don't hit him. And then Jeremy's in the way now. So Jeremy will get past. Peter will go on the outside. He'll outbrake him. Jeremy will see it. But Jeremy's now lost a place as well. But that's a rule we've introduced, where if you are battling and you gain as a result of a back marker like that, you've got to give the place back. So if that was a championship and that person didn't give the place back, they'd be penalised. Because it's unfair. You know, one driver playing ball and one not in that instance. Hi, Kenneth. Naughty boy. You're gonna have to see the headmaster. You jumped into a live server while people were racing a live race, and you caused a lag. So this week, everything, because obviously there's a clock change in the UK. I don't know where else in Europe there is a clock change. The racing's happening an hour earlier. Then on Sunday it goes back to the way it was, I believe. So just check the timings. So the team's race tomorrow is an hour earlier than it has been. So just check that beforehand. Hi, Billy. Yeah, this started at 7 in the evening, and obviously the sun's setting a little bit. So there was a few close battles, but they seem to be petering off a little bit now. Now it's running on more or less under the dark with 13 minutes to go. It's almost becoming a night race. But when you sit inside the cars, it actually doesn't look too bad, or it didn't before. You can still see there's quite a bit of light. But you can also see the lights are on. And it has looked stunning, to be fair, in all its glorious technicolor. Terry's still trying to catch Ollie here. Ollie's car was very twitchy before. It does seem to be moving a lot, Ollie's car, though. That's what I'm saying, Stefan. From inside the car, I actually don't think it looks as bad as we're looking at it. So maybe it's just a bit of a... Because you can still see the sky's quite clear. The sky hasn't gone totally dark, so, you know, maybe that's what's misleading it a little bit. There'll be a pre-race meeting for the constructors tomorrow anyway, so just be aware of the time. Kenneth, that's stated on that. As I said, it will be an hour early. And then Sunday it all goes back to the way it was, I believe. Peter's 9 seconds clear of Crossland now. That was Sousa that just passed. This is the only battle on track. I'm surprised there's 20 watching, Andreas. Don't normally stream the Mondays. I weren't expecting a good turnout, but so thanks for coming and at least watching. And yeah, click that like button. Yeah, Kenneth, it's done now. It was obvious on the stream, because when we come to the stream, when we was watching the stream, there was a jerk, and then obviously it carried on. Now I'm not saying anybody got affected by it. One car did appear to go off, but I'm not sure whether it was a result of the lag. And then I've seen your name pop up at the bottom. Obviously, during the racing, the GT3 Championships, the server's locked. So if anybody did go off, expect a barrage later. Obviously, it should all be polite and gentlemanly. It's a warm-up race, so there's no penalties to issue. You know, no one's going to win any points or prizes. So, you know, at least it's been a warm-up race when it's happened. But Billy, this week only being really important to understand is the pre-race briefings are 5:30 UK time, with qualifying at 6 PM UK time, and then obviously the race following the qualifying. I believe on Sunday Canada catches up with us again, so I think it then goes back again to the normal 6:30 time. But Jeremy will make that clear on Sunday. Why they're a week out, I don't know. But that's the state of play. Apart from me getting the timing wrong yesterday with the microphone and Peter's interview, did you? Oh, for those who heard it, did you enjoy it? Do you think it's something we can do on a regular basis? I'm not aware of other groups doing that sort of thing. So, you know, if it can stand us out a little bit and make us different, you know, I think that's something we need to consider. I mean, I've not seen other groups do what we do, to be honest. I've never been involved in other groups like that. I just know we're doing it from our perspective, and I have heard comments that other groups don't do this or other groups don't do it that way, and you know, some of the comments do come across as really positive and nice. But if you have raced in other groups and they've done something we're not doing and you think it'd be an added benefit, please let us know. You know, a lot of what you're seeing has been constructed a lot by the admin, and a lot of it's off the cuff and just general ideas that we put into practice, like driver of the day, you know, and putting the graphics up and the interview. Again, that was quite novel. I will get better on that, you know, get the timing right with the microphones. Say there's a lot to control with what I do. I've got, say, 3 screens up at the time. The spotters have been helping me, Jeremy, and then Jonathan when he's not on. That makes a massive difference, because I can't see everything that's going on at the same time. I think Terry's going to get him here. He's looking a lot more stable the second part of the race, and there's 8 minutes to go. Details on these cars are fantastic. So when they brake hard, you see the tyres glowing. That's the first thing. But have you noticed the exhausts are glowing red as well under the cars? And occasionally you see sparks flying out from under the cars as they obviously cough and splutter the petrol back up. Occasionally you just see it all splurt out across the road. They are. You saw it from the back of Terry's car then. All the sparks coming out. The detail's fantastic on it. Ollie and Terry are very close here. Terry's gone wide there. He's pushing and pushing and pushing. I need a production team, do I, Melvin? Yeah, it's getting that way. You know, I used to do this just myself, solo, like I am tonight, today, wherever you are in the, you know, in the world. And obviously, then Jeremy joined, and then we started inviting guests into the booth. And it does potentially get a little bit easier because it gives you more views, more eyes to look at things in an indirect manner. And it's getting, you know, there's that much going on in a race with all the different cars and all different incidents. There's loads I want to do, but I don't have the ability to do it. So if I had a second license of a Assetto Corsa Competizione, I'd run that on my laptop and I'd screen capture it. What that would allow me to do is do the replays in a window while the race is going on. So I could do things like that. Then I could split out 2 distinct parts of the race, or we could follow 2 battles at the same time. The problem with that is I need a second Steam account, which I've not got, and obviously it's just, you know, there's just so many other things to do. I've got a screen capture card, so I could do that easily. I'll do that for my PlayStation, but yeah, that would add to it, and that's really where I want to be. My laptop's not the quickest. It's a gaming laptop, but it's not good enough for ACC at high resolution. But for pit lane and the broadcasting, I'll probably get away with it. So that's something I need to consider of whether I can do that. But again, that's a lot of cost for myself potentially. You know, I've invested a lot of stuff personally into this as it is already, and I take nothing from eSeniors at all. He's got a good run here now. Not good enough though. You can see the sparks still flying out of the exhaust, can't you? Yeah, Billy. So with it being Mondays, it's guest drivers. So we've had a couple of guest drivers join. Steve Crossland is a friend of Ollie's. He's not 50. He's just under 50 actually. But he's bloody quick, it's fair to say. What are the cars on the tower? Okay, so the manufacturers. The only ones it doesn't show you is the Bentley because of licensing issues. Good old Bentley, eh? But hopefully that gives you what you want there, so you can see quite clearly who's driving what. But if there's a grey square with no car in it, it's a Bentley. Okay, on the website, there's a link at the top for donations. We do receive donations, obviously, to keep the servers running. So the servers is our main cost. As you could appreciate, we've got a top-of-the-range server for this that can handle all the races. Another cost that's ongoing is the software I use to stream the ACC TV. That subscription. On the grand scheme of things, that's not an expensive cost, but it's still a cost we've got to consider in relation to that. So that's so that allows me to change the camera angles and the car and the type of angle I want to look in the car. I can do that quite quickly, but I get a lot of other functionality in it as well. The timing tower is part of that software. So in the timing tower, you just saw me change the manufacturer. I can change that to show you the fastest lap. As you can see there's the fastest lap. I can go but the gap. Instead of the manufacturer, I can show you the position delta, so you can see who's gained and who's lost. So it offers a lot of opportunities for me changing what's going on in the race. It allows me to focus on, you know, the racing as much as possible. On the timing sheet, I mean, I'll show you the ACC TV. I've done this before. What you get to see here is this on the screen here is what I'm using. So you can see I'm currently selected on Terry Trowbridge there. If I move up to Peter and double click on Peter, the camera angle changes to Peter. Not that you can see it because it's obviously on the screen. I could then turn around and say, well, let's look inside the car. There's camera 1. I can go to the TV camera, which takes us from outside. I can go to the helicam, which will take me to the top, and so on. So I can do all that from the software. I can also show the track map. So there's a track map button there. I'll go back to broadcasting mode. The bits here that I'm highlighting, I can change what's on the tower. So there I can turn around and say, show me the gap, and the tower will change to the gap. I can then turn around from these buttons and say how many pit stops there are, and that'll control the pit stops for me. I can also from here look at the deltas, get the position deltas. I can look at the lap times, the potentials, who's got the fastest sector, and so on and so forth. So the software gives me a lot of functionality, but that's on a subscription, so we have to pay for that. So every month we've got to pay for the servers. We've also got to pay for the software, the domain for this GT3 Championship, the website, and the Wix stuff. That's all paid for as well. So there's a minimum recurring cost we have, and that basically gives us the ability to keep going and offer what we offer as a service. So the donations that you pay basically cover all them costs. So if we don't get no donations, eventually it's all going to collapse and fall on the floor. But the donations are voluntary. We're not a group where we turn around and say to people, you've got to pay this on a monthly subscription to race. You know, we're quite happy for people to race, but there are some members who do regularly donate, and hopefully their donations keep us afloat as to where we are. Obviously, if things do get critical, you'd probably see me and Jeremy announce we could do with topping up the pot, shall we say. But we do have a couple of people who do, as I said, donate on a regular basis. So Mikhail, there's always a link there if you feel it. You know, there's no obligation to how much. It's a case of what you feel is going to be, you know, comfortable with yourself. The leader on the final lap will jump on board. And we'll see Peter, who's got a 15-second gap now. This was looking really exciting early on, but Peter's just in another league. And look, now it's gone really dark, completely dark now as a result. Peter's just kept on it all the way through. He's still doing the 158s, is Peter. The night time's not even affected him. No, Melvin. I've got to take the feed from my version of Assetto Corsa because that's the way the software works. It links into an IP address. If you've got too much latency, it just wouldn't work. Just catching up with... what parts you need, maybe. No, I don't need any parts, Billy. It's not that. It's I've got a laptop that I could stream replays from, no problem at all. The graphics quality wouldn't be the same as my gaming PC, but you'd be able to see replays and the quality would be good enough for replays. I have tested it, it does work, but it's just it's getting that second Steam license. You know, it's just a massive ball ache and inconvenience, to be honest. I did actually consider, because my son has Steam and he uses my other account, so I've got 2 accounts, but I give him an account in effect, and I thought of getting it and donating it to him so he's got his own valid license. But when I tried to run 2 copies of Assetto Corsa on the same network as the same Steam user, it just wouldn't do it. It paused one of the screens. So I've tried to work around it, I can't at the moment. There we go, coming over the finish line. Faultless race, Peter there.
The leader has finished the race.
Absolutely fantastic. As the guest driver, Steve Crosland, done fantastically well there, I think it's fair to say. We're not doing driver of the day because it's not a championship race, by the way. That's why I've not asked for it. But very good introduction to eSeniors. I bet he's going to be gutted he can't race with us. Nelson, who's had an absolutely faultless race. Done really well again. That's 2 races on the run. Nelson's really done well. Nelson speaks to me quite regularly as well, outside of eSeniors. Really nice bloke. Loads of time for him. John Saunders coming over. He's always up there towards the top. So again, another good race there from Mr. Saunders. And then Mark Rogers, the first of the PWS cars coming over, the 777 Aston. And he's going to be followed 14 seconds down the road by Mark Christopher, one of our Group 2 racers who should be in Group 1. It's fair to say. He's a bit bloody quick. And then Merch just behind. Got himself sorted there. Richie McKay. In the an alternative pink pig, shall we say. As Peter de Jong usually races. Again, comfortable drive. I've not seen him make any mistakes per se, so I think he's had quite a good solid race there in relation to that. Terry Trowbridge, who had he's passed Ollie as well. He had a difficult first section. There you go. And we see Nelson. Well done, granddads. Oh, Nelson's grandkids have been watching. Fantastic that. That's really nice to see. So just want to say thanks everyone for the stream and give me some company for the evening. It was nice, you know, even getting the viewers we got. That was really good actually for a Monday. I weren't expecting that, so I just want to thank you all. And I'll be streaming again tomorrow the constructors race. So if you guys are bored and you want some entertainment, please feel free to join. And on that note, I will bid you a good day. Take care, everybody.